This is the time of year thousands flock to the woods of Brown County to enjoy the colors. And sometimes a few stay behind to live in the kind of environment that gave us Honest Abe. One such person is the subject of this week's edition of Duffy's World.
Brown County, Indiana, for the past several years has been seductively luring many city folks to set up roots there, dazzling them with its leafy majesty and relentlessly rustic decor. And more than a few of these urban dwellers are trading in their split levels, ranches, or efficiencies to go the Abe Lincoln route, to reside in a log cabin in the woods. Now, as a group, working journalists have never developed a reputation for being infatuated with the great outdoors or fond of traipsing about in nature's wonderland on a voluntary basis. Thus, I was quite intrigued by the latest log house contribution to the Brown County landscape, for it belongs to Channel 6 news producer Lyn Leo, who heretofore have been considered hopelessly citified, exhilarating in the noise, the traffic, the ribbons of concrete and plastic. But here she is, building a spacious log house, complete with basement, second-floor loft, brick fireplace, and logs that go back 150 years.
I've always been drawn to this area and the kind of rustic lifestyle, and it was suggested to me that I look into building a log cabin because in this area they tend to retain their value and fit in with the landscape and the lifestyle. And my gut reaction at first was, ooh, outdoor toilets and all that stuff. But then when I talked with a builder and saw some examples, I realized that you really could have a rustic lifestyle that blended in all the modern conveniences.
You are going with running water and toilet facilities?
Oh, yes, all the best. Garbage disposal, all that stuff.
Mike Nichols is one of 3 Brown County builders who specialize in the construction of log houses or cabins in Brown County. There's believed to be over 1,000 of them dotting the area. Nichols gets his logs from cabins that once existed in southern Indiana, Kentucky, or Ohio, dating back to the early and mid-1800s. And it's the history that's contained in these hefty logs that has made the dozen or so years he's been doing this most gratifying.
I just get a good feeling out of saving something that somebody else put an awful lot of time and effort into. They went out in the woods and they took down those trees and they hand-hewed them, put these things up, and their family lived in them. And now 100 years or 130 or 40 years later, we can come back and save something that somebody did like that, and it's just kind of a way of helping to preserve a little American heritage, I guess.
Nichols obtained the yellow poplar logs for Lyn's abode from an 1830 vintage cabin near Terre Haute. The logs 8 inches in thickness, some coming in back-breaking 30-foot lengths. All of the rest of the wood is Brown County born and raised. Now, these vintage logs are becoming increasingly scarce, prompting many log cabin connoisseurs to resort to pre-cut kits using fresh wood. The price doesn't offer any bargain over contemporary housing, about $45 a square foot and rising, but there are many advantages of particular appeal to the lounge lizard homeowner.
On a log cabin, you don't have to paint, so there's virtually no exterior maintenance. On the interior, you don't have wallpaper walls that you have to wash down or repaper or repaint every now and then. If you want to hang a picture on the wall, you don't have to run around through your drywall looking for a stud so you can sink a nail in. I think they heat real well. They're conducive to solar aspects. They stay cool in the summertime without air conditioning. They'll withstand earthquakes.
It all sounds very cozy, charming, and rustically romantic, leaving this reporter with only one compelling question. What about critters here? Do you have much problem with bears, mountain lions, snakes, other denizens of the forest?
Well, you'll notice that it's all sort of high off the ground. I think the most denizens they have around here are the 2-legged kind, so I'll be on the lookout for those, but I don't think there's too many other dangers.
In about a month, Lyn Leo will be fully enveloped in the Brown County mystique, in perfect position to launch a political campaign if she so desires, and to make the transition from Lyn Leo news producer to Lyn Leo wilderness woman. For the news, Reid, Duffy, Channel 6.